don't understand. A few days, that's all I need. I'll lose my farm.
Put your hands up. It's all right, folks. You can see it's a holdup. Just relax. Nobody's gonna get hurt unless these blue coats do something stupid. We're gonna be out of here in a minute. Y'all go on about your own business. Of course, these fellas here are gonna have some explaining to do.
Gentlemen, tell Major Ross that Hawks Raiders send their regards. Sorry about the inconvenience. Hope you all have a real nice day.
Here's your loan. Don't worry about paying it back. Okay, get his saddlebags. Mrs. Mary Brown from the Irvin Brush Company. Looks like a catalog. You don't mind if I open this? Been meaning to get my girlfriend a brush. This ain't a catalog. It's an Army dispatch. Did you know you were carrying this? Thank Major Ross from Hawks Raiders. Tell him Irvin Brush Company is out of business. Yeah.
Here to do honors to Major Ross.
Company! Company! Attention! Draw! Sabers! Present! Present! Sabers! Carry! Sabers! Left and right by files! Left and right by files! March!
Maxwell, be at my office in 5 minutes.
Can I speak off the record, Lieutenant? Does that greenhorn really think he can do better against the Hawk than the Major did?
We'll find out, won't we, Corporal?
From now on, things are going to be a lot different around here.
Major Ross was a good man, Captain.
Oh, I'm not saying that he wasn't, Lieutenant. But his job was to eradicate the Hawk, and he failed. Now, with the possibility of war on the horizon, that task has fallen onto me. And I assure you, I do not intend to repeat his mistakes. Now, with that in mind, I've requested an additional 2 platoons to be brought in from Fort Miles.
You really think they'll help?
It's that kind of defeatist attitude that I wish to address first.
Yes, sir.
It is not my intention to create a show of force for the hell of it, Lieutenant. Nor do I wish to create the misperception that the Army intends to occupy this town, but the Hawk and his men must be stopped. Now, people do not seem to realize what this man did in Kansas. The trail of death and destruction he left behind.
Captain, since he moved into this territory, he's changed his ways. People around here don't see him as a terrorist. They see him as some kind of hero.
Which cannot be allowed to continue.
be it, Mr. Tompkins. Oh, Jimmy, would you get me some of that molasses over there?
I got a small list right here I'd like. Now I'm going to need 5 pounds of beans, 2 pounds sugar.
Well, honey, look at this blanket. You know which one it is?
I know which one it is, Emma.
Would you pick it out for me, please? And you wouldn't mind me putting this on your hotcakes in the morning?
Of course not. Why should I?
Oh, Jimmy, I think it's time you learned how to read or learned to love liniment.
Excuse me, Mr. Tompkins, but the storeroom's empty. Where did you say the oats were?
Out there were the army horses. They cleaned me out yesterday. You know, I'm as patriotic as the next guy, but I gotta tell you, I'll be damn glad to see him go.
Why, you ought to be thankful they're here, Mr. Tompkins. If they weren't, we'd just be easy prey for that Hawk and his gang of thieves.
What I hear, that man's a people's friend. He thinks the government's getting too big for its britches. Says Washington shouldn't be telling folks what to do. Tell you the truth, I'm of half a mind to agree with him.
That don't make stealing right.
Or taking over the town, either.
Well, the very presence of the Army in this fine little town of yours only further proves my point. Washington is committed to taking away the people's basic constitutional rights to determine their own destiny. Friends, neighbors, it is imperative that we be vigilant in our cause to protect our basic freedoms as given us by the founding fathers of this great country of ours before it's too late.
What you're talking about is treason, mister. Hell, he ought to be strung up for talking like that.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Am I not guaranteed the freedom of speech, Sergeant?
What about the slaves? Don't it talk about their freedoms, too?
This has nothing to do with slavery.
See? He ain't got an answer. You're nothing more than a treasonous snake, hiding behind your fancy clothes.
Sergeant, I'm a retired Army colonel from the great state of Virginia. No one is more loyal to this country than I.
I tell. That's enough.
Who's that soldier?
That's Corporal Macon, sir. Macon, you can knock him out. Hit him, Macon. How's it going? One more, kid. Come on, pop him one. Finish him. Come on, Macon. Come on. That's right, kid. Finish him off. Macon, get up.
What's going on here? Marshal. I owe this young man a vote of thanks and possibly my life. He's a true patriot.
Wasn't a fair fight.
I will not forget this. Oh, by the way, where in the tarnation did you learn them kind of fisticuffs?
All right, you folks going about your business. Go on. Go on.
It went well.
Hey, kid. Nice work.
You okay?
Sure. But I tell you, if I'd known how hard you punched, I don't know that I'd have volunteered.
That ox who jumped in, was he part of it?
Nah, never seen him before in my life. But don't worry about it. He just made your performance that much more believable.
Oh, that's nice, I guess. You mind telling me what this is all for now?
By now, you must be familiar with a man known as the Hawk. Aloysius Darnell, the man you just defended, has 2 sons riding with his guerrillas. Since the Hawk likes to recruit young men of courage and action.
Washington's hoping that little rescue we staged is going to draw you to their attention.
I just helped a guy in a fight.
It doesn't hurt that you're a Virginian and that your late brother may have known the Hawk. So far, his identity has eluded us. We want you to infiltrate his gang, find out who he is and where they are, and then report back to me.
What have you got to do with this?
The Army thinks someone on the inside's supplying the Hawk information. I've been assigned to Lewis's unit to find out who.
Sergeant Miller will be your only contact. The Hawk's influence is spreading like a disease. He's been distributing this propaganda in every town in the territory. And I must say, it's quite effective. Men like the Hawk can destroy this union.
So, what do you say, kid? You in? Good.
Welcome. Welcome, ladies. What's that all about?
Just like mail order brides.
How is welcome to Sweetwater. Ellen, good to see you. Welcome.
Marilyn?
Welcome.
Is that you?
Alvin? Yeah. Alvin?
Now, just a minute, Mr. Brown. This ain't the way we work it. The other grooms aren't here yet, and I want to present these lovely young flowers in the style they deserve, especially since they've come all this way to make you gents happy.
Mr. Tillum.
Now, please step back.
Now, Alvin, I know it's hard, but you'll have to control yourself.
Thank you.
She's already spoken, Korak.
Our next beauty is Miss Ellen Snortland. And her lucky man is Cyrus Blackburn.
Hey, Cyrus, I thought you were saving that suit for your funeral. It is!
The last, but certainly not the least attractive flower of today's bouquet is Miss Annie Laufer. Annie's traveled all the way from Baltimore to meet her new husband, Mr. Harold Jackson. Is there a Harold Jackson here?
Must have took a look and had second thoughts.
Well, thanks, folks, for sharing in the joy of these blissful couples. And don't forget to tell your friends about our service. I wouldn't worry too much if I was you. He was probably just delayed.
Mr. Tillum? Here. We got you this here as fast as we could.
Miss Laufer, I just received this letter from the Erskine Mining Company down in Utah, where Mr. Jackson was working. I'm afraid it contains bad news. There was a cave-in last week. They aren't holding out too much hope for any survivors.
Oh, my God. That poor man. What am I supposed to do now?
This should cover stage fare back to Baltimore. I'll pay for your hotel room until it arrives.
Thank you. I don't know how I can
Now,
ever
don't
pay you
worry
back.
about
I don't have any money.
Just get home safe and sound. Good luck.
Thank you.
I'll see if I can find a new match.
Oh, the hotel. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, I don't understand.
He wants to help you with your bags. That's Indian sign. It's Ike McSwain.
Thank you, Ike. I'm much obliged.
Now, biblical question for the day. What is Melissa holding in her hand?
An apple. An apple.
An apple. Yes and no. May I? Freedom. Freedom of choice. Anybody?
Eve gave Adam an apple from the tree of life.
And Adam had to choose whether or not to partake, didn't he?
Yeah, and when he did,
Eve was naked.
In the eyes of man. Please, come in.
It's all right. Don't mind me.
Freedom of choice. Adam and Eve had it.
Now you, your parents, me, all of us, we have some choices to make.
Why?
The war's coming, and my pa says we gotta choose sides.
Uh-huh. A war that's going to split this nation in half, like this. A war that's going to be fought over the freedom of choice.
My daddy says the South ain't right to make people slaves.
Your daddy's right. It's a sin to enslave anybody, whether that's in the cotton fields of the South or in the factories of the North.
The North don't have slaves.
Well, they have factories, they have sweatshops, they have money men who value their workers less than the slave owner does his field hand.
So then you think the South's right?
No, I'm saying that a choice has to be made. I'm saying that a good man can sometimes be wrong. I'm saying that the wisest course of action may very well be the least popular.
Like those men that took the army's money and gave it to the people.
Well, that's a discussion for another day. Hello. Excuse me. May I help you?
No, I was just looking in.
Well, you're welcome anytime. My name's Jeremy Stiles, schoolmaster. I'm new in town.
James Hickok.
Hickok? Ah, yes, yes. Well, you've quite a reputation for a man so young.
Oh, I see you've caught up with our mysterious visitor.
Yes, indeed. James Hickok, this is my assistant, Vera Collins.
It's my pleasure, ma'am.
Vera, please. If you don't mind me asking, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit?
I don't know. I guess I'd like to improve my reading some. Trouble is I'm gone a lot. I ride for the Pony Express.
Well, that shouldn't be a problem. I'm sure Miss Collins would be very happy to tutor you.
Well, that's all right. You don't have to.
Ready, Vera?
Oh, certainly. Excuse us.
Mr. Stiles?
Captain?
Maybe onto something. Meet me in the alley behind the doctor's office after dark. And I'm tired of you and your treasonous talk. You understand me?
Won't be long now, Vera. Matter of weeks at most. Washington's finally providing me with the resources I need.
Resources?
Shipment of the newest Springfield rifles. You know, promotion's almost a certainty for whoever brings down the Hawk. Could lead to a command in a more desirable part of the country. Now, you don't look pleased.
I like it here.
Vera, one thing an officer's wife must come to accept is never living in one place too long.
I suppose for the right officer, it'd be worth the sacrifice.
careless, Miss Collins. I wonder what the captain will think about this.
What happened?
He shot him! Hurry up! Get him! Hold on! He shot him!
Sergeant Miller, you okay?
I had a headache, so I decided to take a walk outside to get some air. I was crossing the street, and that's when I heard them arguing. The young man who rides for the Pony Express,
The one they call the Kid?
he said men like the Hawk were the only hope this country had left. Then the other one, Sergeant Miller, called him a traitor. The next thing I knew, the Kid shot him. Oh, it all happened so fast. May I go, please?
Of course. I'm sure this has been most unsettling for you. Sergeant, Miss Collins needs an escort home. Lieutenant, have a squad of your best men ready to pursue the fugitive at dawn.
Come on, Kitty.
There he is! Come on, let's get him!
There's his horse. Spread out.
Corporal Macon, get over there.
Lieutenant, up there.
You the one? Yeah, it's his paint over there. Calvin, go fetch him. I don't like his face. Just help me get him up, Jeff. All right, got him? Yep, 1, 2.
I'm sorry about your men, Captain. I truly am. But there is no way on God's green earth that boy could have done what you're saying he did.
Mr. Hunter, the facts are these. 1, a few days ago, he was seen defending a known Southern sympathizer and states' rights agitator in a fistfight. 2, Sergeant Miller, with whom he fought on that occasion and at least one other occasion, is dead. 3, and most damning of all, Miss Vera Collins saw him do it. Now, any doubt I had about your boy's involvement in this ended this morning when Hawk and a group of his men came to his aid and killed a couple of my soldiers in the process. I've called a town meeting at 2 o'clock this afternoon. I suggest you and your people be there. Good day, sir.
Kid's in serious trouble, boss.
What kind of trouble, Teaspoon?
Well, the Army wants him for murder and treason. They're saying Hawk's raiders helped him escape. You know, any luck picking up his tracks?
No. It's like they disappeared in thin air.
Well, I can see why the Army's worried about Hawk's raiders, Teaspoon. Those boys know what they're doing.
You know that Collins woman, don't you, Jimmy?
Yeah.
She's the one saying the kid killed that sergeant when they caught him spying on him.
That's crazy, Teaspoon.
I know. That's why I want Jimmy to keep an eye on her. Can you do that, son? Be real careful so you don't cause any suspicion.
What about the rest of us?
Well, tell Emma Lewis is calling a town meeting. I think everybody ought to be there. Meantime, if you'll excuse me, I got someone I got to pay a visit to.
I don't know what you're talking about, Teaspoon.
Damn it, Ben. You know what's going on, and you know I know. And if you know what's good for you, you'll tell me what in God's name you put the kid up to.
Teaspoon, what I'm going to tell you's got to stay in this room.
All right.
I asked the kid to try and infiltrate the Hawks gang.
You what?
It was the Army's idea, because the kid's from Virginia, and they figure maybe his brother knew the Hawk. I didn't know it'd work out this way.
You didn't, huh? And who else knows about this brilliant plan of yours?
At this point, only myself, Matthew Freeman, Territorial Head of Army Intelligence, and now you.
What are you gonna do about the kid? And don't tell me nothing, or by God, I'll blow the lid off this whole damn thing.
Look, Teaspoon, I know the kid's in danger, and I'm sorry. Believe me, it wasn't supposed to work out this way. But it did, and he's in, and we need whatever he can give us.
What about after?
I'll make sure he's cleared of all charges. I give you my word on that. I know the kid means a lot to you, Teaspoon, but we're facing a war.
Thanks for nothing, Ben.
As you should all be aware by now, this territory is in great danger.
Well, at least you got that right. Some danger of being overrun by you and your men.
I'm sorry, sir, but I'm afraid you do not understand the danger that you're facing.
I don't understand.
Now, you ask anyone from Kansas about the atrocities the Hawk and his gang have committed.
He's crazy. Those boys gave my brother a $20 gold piece.
Whether that buys your loyalty, sir? These men are murderers and thieves, and they vowed to overthrow the government.
That ain't what it says here. It says every individual should lead the life that he's used to without Washington telling him how to do it.
In the interest of territorial security, all such treasonous propaganda is hereby banned. Henceforth, possession will be cause for immediate arrest.
What about freedom of the presses, Captain?
Madam, it is exactly to protect your freedoms that I'm forced to resort to these measures.
Captain's point is well taken. Our freedoms must be protected at all costs. That's a difficult task for the captain. Just as it wasn't easy for the governor of Jerusalem 2,000 years ago, when in order to protect the freedom of his Roman citizens, he sacrificed the life of an intruder. That man lost his freedom, though his word lives on. Yes, sir, Captain. I'm sure there's no one in this room that envies you your position.
Mr. Stiles, I hardly believe the word of the Hawk can be equated to the word of our Lord. Now, if anyone here wishes to dispute my authority, feel free to contact Colonel Benton in Fort Miles. I would be happy to provide an escort if necessary to accompany you.
Your men have taken over the best rooms in my hotel, and I've yet to see one nickel.
Please, Mr. Trilling, I've told you this before. The money is on its way.
As far as I'm concerned, you and your blue coats are no longer welcome here.
Lieutenant, arrest that man.
Arrest?
This meeting is dismissed. You may claim your guns at headquarters. Take those people into custody. The rest of you will disperse immediately.
Captain!
What's he trying to do? Captain, you're making a big mistake here.
Well, given the risks we're facing, Marshal, I don't believe I have much choice. I was in Kansas. I have seen what the Hawk is capable of. Believe me, our only chance lies in isolating him from his base of support. Now, in the meantime, order must be upheld. Do I have your cooperation? Good. Now, as I'll be needing to house several prisoners, I'll require the use of your jail. And if you would be so kind as to post some of these in public places.
How you feeling?
I guess. How long have I been out?
A couple days.
Where's my horse?
We got her outside. She's fine. I took that bullet out of you myself. You ought to be fine, too.
Thanks.
That Yankee captain says you shot one of their sergeants. Same one as roughed up my daddy. Is that true?
No, I wish I had, though.
They call you the Kid. You're from Virginia, Manassas, right?
How you know so much about me?
We pride ourselves on being thorough. I used to ride with a fellow named Jed. He was from Manassas, too. You kind of remind me of him.
He was my brother.
I knew that, too. Hell, we're practically neighbors. My name's Aaron Darnell. Me and my brother Jeffrey over there hail from Richmond.
Well, Jed sure didn't end up doing too well for us in the end, did he?
Well, that was Yankee talk, little brother. You know how reliable that is. Don't mind him. He's got a sharp tongue, but his heart's in the right place. Jed was a good man. You feel the same way about things as he did?
Most things.
Good. Glad to hear it.
You the Hawk?
I'm out. If I was, would it be a problem?
Thank you.
I didn't see you at services. Oh, well, I find church a great comfort.
I think there's something to be learned.
I think a ride in the country would be all right. I was born in Baltimore, but my parents died when I was 10. My sister and I were raised in the Catholic home there. You're from Baltimore? Oh, you're alone, too. I knew this land would be beautiful. Folks back east couldn't understand why anyone would want to settle out here. They thought the West was all desert and cactus. But this is exactly how I pictured it. Do you think it's wrong to marry someone you've never met? It's funny, I feel like I know him. I mean, knew him. Mr. Jackson and I corresponded for almost a year. I could tell from his letters he was a kind, decent man. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you allergic? Wait, I have a handkerchief. Hold on. Oh, here you go. Here you go.
Let's unload that wagon.
Somebody interested in our stock, boy.
I rode with the Express. Seen a lot of good horses. Got some fine ones here.
Is that right?
Well, don't be thinking of riding any. Don't trust strangers, no matter who their brother was.
Rider coming in!
Gentlemen, we're gonna perform a little public service tonight. We're gonna bust out the prisoners Lewis put in jail. All right. How's your arm?
Feels good.
Good. You're coming along.
Well, why?
It's time he got his feet wet. There's one rule. New recruits don't go anywhere alone. I don't guess that'll be a problem, though. This thing's tacked to every tree in the territory.
Mind if I keep this?
Give it to your mom.
You run up the hill.
That's great. That's just great. Keep this up. You'll be my best pupil, Jimmy.
That's because you're the best teacher here.
It's not me. You got a thirst to learn. That's the most important thing.
What I'd really like to read is this.
Do you know what this is?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you know it's against the law to have it.
It's Captain Lewis's law. It don't hold well with me. It seems this Hawk fella makes more sense.
Best be careful, James. Words like that can put a man in prison.
It'd be a sorry time when plain talk's against the law. Seems to me if the Hawk's against what the Army's doing to this town, I'm all for him.
Well, in these times, it's best a man use caution if he wants to attain his goals.
Thank you for the lovely evening, Ike. I really should be going in. It's getting late. No, I'm sorry.
Seeing how she come out all this way to get married and ended up just getting her hopes crushed, I just think you ought to be real careful. Well, when a girl gets hurt like that, she becomes real fragile, and she's liable to get hurt again real easy.
Now, wait a minute. I'll tell you the real reason you ought to be careful, Ike. I mean, if she's like a lot of those girls, she's probably pretty desperate to find a husband. I mean, any husband. Especially since she's not, you know, she's not.
What?
It's just that she's not real, well, you know.
Pretty? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, not that that matters to me, you understand. But it does to a lot of folk, men in particular.
Sam!
What's he saying?
That's right, Ike. That Annie's got her own kind of beauty.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I've been talking about. I mean, the kind of beauty she's got's deeper. See, all I'm saying, Emma, is I'm agreeing with you. I gotta be real careful. I mean, we don't want him to, you know, get into trouble.
Kid! Sam?
Come on, boys. Raise him, Marshal.
Evening. Gentlemen, you're free. Courtesy of Hawk's Raiders. Try to help get you out of the territory. If you're smart, you won't come back till the Army's cleared out.
No!
Jeff, I said no shooting.
I'd like to oblige you, big brother, but he's seen our faces.
Well, seeing them, finding them's two different things. Let's go. You can't shoot everybody that sees you, Jeff. Let's go. Lock him up.
Let's go.
You know what you're doing, kid.
Tell that veteran to meet me at Signal Rock noon tomorrow.
I consider last night's raid proof that you are unable to maintain order in Sweetwater.
Sweetwater was plenty orderly until you showed up and turned it into an armed camp. I'm sorry, Captain, but if there is any support in this town for Hawks Raiders, it's because you created it.
Oh, really? I'm afraid I disagree. I'm declaring martial law, effective immediately.
What do you want to do here? You want to start a war?
No, Marshal, I am trying to stop a war, not start a war. And if you do anything to interfere, I will have you placed under arrest. Good day.
I'm going to send a deputy to talk to that colonel of yours in Fort Miles. I can't believe you got the right to run roughshod over an entire town.
I understand. I'd probably do the same thing myself.
Afternoon, Ben. Gotta take care of this.
Why'd you shoot Sergeant Miller?
I didn't shoot him. It was either Vera Collins or someone she's working with. Couldn't tell.
The school marm?
Whose side are you on, anyway?
I was gonna ask you the same question. How do I know I can trust you?
You don't. On the other hand, I could have shot you the minute you rode up.
I'm sorry, son. Did you find out who the Hawk is?
Not yet.
Look, kid, I know this whole thing is blown up right in your face, but you gotta hang on. Just a few more days.
Why?
Lewis is expecting a big shipment of carbines. They're coming by way of Cutter's Pass Thursday afternoon.
You want me to find out if the Hawk knows about him? Meet me back here same time day after tomorrow.
Kid, be careful.
Get down real easy.
I don't have any money.
Don't want any. Want to know what you two were talking about back there.
Brave with that gun in your hand. Cut me loose. We'll see how brave you are.
I knew you were a snake. I knew you were a snake the minute I laid eyes.
Get out, I'll skin you alive.
What do you think you're doing? Getting rid of unwanted company.
What?
Your little friend here is a spy. Caught him talking with an army agent.
He didn't see nothing. Aaron, I'm telling you, he's making it up.
Had themselves a nice, long chat.
Brother's crazy. I ain't a spy.
Say we kill him.
Something for the Hawk to decide.
Aaron, I say we kill him. No, forget we. I'll kill him.
No.
Captain.
I caught him talking to an army agent.
And why waste a bullet? Hang him.